Alright, so with my finals week finally over and I'm now moved out, I can start doing videos again. And in the last poll I did, you guys voted for a How Powerful is Hellverse Ichigo video, and I am here to deliver. But before we get started, I have three things in the description for you guys. The first being a straw poll for the next video idea, so make sure you vote on that. The second being the Discord. Get yourself in there, and Twitter, go follow that. So with introductions out of the way, let us go ahead and get right into the video. But before we can even start talking about how powerful Hellverse Ichigo is, we need to all be on the same page that this guy, this dude, Ichigo in his hell armor, is stronger than his Vasto Lorde form that we see in this movie. And I can back this up with 2 points. The first point I want to bring up is the fact that Hellverse Ichigo was able to flawlessly and effortlessly cut off Renji and Uryu's chains, whereas Vasto Lorde Ichigo needed some pretty large Ceros to be able to destroy Kokuto's chains, and you can't even say that's because he had the power of the Kusanada, which are the Guardians of Hell, because the last thing those guys would want is for someone to get free from Hell. Kokuto even brings up earlier on in the movie that if you die in Hell, the Kusanada are going to treat you just like everybody else and are going to try to keep you confined in Hell. So I doubt that they'd be like, oh, just because these are Ichigo's friends, we're just going to let these guys go free for no reason. So no, Hellverse Ichigo was able to flawlessly cut these chains with just the swing of his sword, whereas Vasto Lorde Ichigo needed some pretty massive Ceros to create the same effect. For my second point, we're going to be using Kokuto as a scaling mechanism, because a lot of people seem to sleep on my man Kokuto and seem to think he's complete fodder, when in all reality he's more relative, if not stronger, than Vasto Lorde Ichigo himself, and let me explain why. You see, after his chains would get broken by Vasto Lorde Ichigo, he would still have to deal with Ichigo in his berserker form, and Kokuto must have been confident that he would have been able to kill Vasto Lorde Ichigo, because as his chains are getting broken, he's not even thinking about that. He is laughing, having the time of his life, and I can even back this up by showing Kokuto standing in one of Vasto Lorde's Ceros, and Ichigo even brings this up later on in the movie as a point to show how strong Kokuto is. He's like, man, I don't know if I could beat this guy, and it flashes back to him just standing in Vasto Lorde's Cero. And you can't even say that, oh, that was a barrier created by the chains, because the chains are weaker than Vasto Lorde's Cero, so why would a barrier created by those chains even protect Kokuto? It just doesn't make any sense. And then here we have Hellverse Ichigo one-shotting Kokuto, in fact to the point where Kokuto is staggering around about to die. So yeah, there's no way that Vasto Lorde Ichigo is as powerful or even close to Hellverse Ichigo. And real quick before we transition to the next place, I do know that Kokuto says that, oh, unless you go into your Vasto Lorde form, you won't be able to beat me. Kokuto is only saying that to provoke Ichigo to go into that form, so Ichigo will break his chains. He is not meaning that literally, because right before he says that, he also says, well, if you go into your mask, you might be able to beat me, which was only Kokuto trying to get Ichigo to put on his mask, because as soon as he puts on his mask, he's going to start losing control, he's going to go into his Vasto Lorde form, and then, you know, this is all what Kokuto wants to happen in the first place. The reason I want to make sure that we're all on the same page here with Hellverse Ichigo being stronger than Vasto Lorde Ichigo is because Vasto Lorde Ichigo in this movie is insanely impressive, to the point where it's confirmed a few times that he would have been able to destroy Hell had he wanted to. In fact, when Ichigo's going into his Vasto Lorde a second time, all these Kusanada show up, and Kokuto is like, yeah, they're here to consume the man who destroyed Hell, kind of telling us that if Vasto Lorde wanted to, he could destroy Hell. This is even further backed up by the fact that he fires a Cero, you know, something he can do casually, and that pretty much rocks all of Hell. It goes from the bottom of Hell to the top, still has enough force after traveling that distance to just burst the gates of Hell open and careen through the sky in Karakura Town. So Vasto Lorde even being a threat to Hell would put him at bare minimum in the planetary range. We're not going to go into like Hell being an infinite realm. You can kind of make an argument for that by Kokuto saying no matter how far you run in Hell, like no matter how far down you go, the Kusanada will always find you. So it's like, does Hell have infinite floors? Would it have infinite space to soar, you know, in a hypothetical infinite amount of souls? I don't want to get into that. I'm just going to work off the assumption that hell is the size of the world of the living, since we know the world of the living is Earth, and that's an actual, finite thing we can wrap our heads around instead of infinite. So we're just going to say that hell is around the size of the world of the living, meaning that Vasto Lorde Ichigo was threatening a planetary-sized realm. Now, even if you want to say that doesn't make Vasto Lorde planetary, even though he was casually doing this with Setos, Hellverse Ichigo being well above Vasto Lorde Ichigo would easily be in that planetary range. Which you guys gotta understand is like Bankai Yamamoto, End of Series Aizen, Holified Shikai Ichigo levels of power. It's absolutely nuts, but you know what? It's not the first insane feat to come out of the movies. Memories of Nobodies has some interesting feats that I'd love to get into in the future. But with that being said, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Comment down below how hyped you are that one of the, if not the coolest form of Ichigo is planetary. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace late, guys.
Yeah, nope.